And I'm back. My name is Ryan Harlan. I'm your host of Dirt Chicks. I'm here every Friday from about 6 to 6:30-ish p.m. talking about all things motocross. And I have got my female guest on the line. I'm so excited to welcome Miss Caitlin Kirk. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Happy Friday.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. So, where are you calling from?
I live in Acton, California, which is it's right next to Palmdale, in the greater Los Angeles area, the northern county.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
We've got some family in Folsom, and then my cousin lives right in Beverly Hills.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So that's interesting that how far out of the city of LA would you say you are?
I would say about 35 miles, give or take. LA's pretty big, so yeah, it's about 30 minutes to get down the hill. And depending on where you go, it can be up to 45 minutes to an hour with traffic.
Right, with traffic. I think that's the key.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's pretty cool considering, 35 miles from one of the most, major cities on the West Coast. That's, pretty close in my eyes.
Yeah, it's close to the Moto Mecca, I would say. The Southern California area, just in general, is, the basis of where motocross started. And all of the big tracks are out here, so it's a lot of fun.
Very, very cool. Are you from there? Were you born there? Born and raised?
Yeah, I was born in Agua Dulce, about 10 miles away. Okay. We're not born there, but I grew up there, yeah.
For the most part, you'll claim it, right?
Yeah, it's a rural area. I love it.
Very, very.
The nature and, yeah.
Very cool. All the photos and videos look really cool. So, not necessarily... Okay, let me go back. When did you start riding? How old were you?
I was 5 years old, and my brother and we learned to ride on the same day, so he was 2.5. He's a few years younger than me.
Oh, 5 and 2.5.
Yeah.
Do you remember what bike? Was it the same bike, or did y'all have two different bikes?
It was a PW50, but it was yellow. It was a little bit older.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I don't remember the day, but we have photos. And my dad, my grandma, my brother, my mom, they were all there. And, it was, I can't thank my family enough for, bringing me into the fold of dirt bikes. It's been such a huge part of my life with racing in desert. And now here I am with my business. And it's been a really fun, hobby. It's not really a hobby for me anymore.
It's a lifestyle for you, definitely. Yeah. Okay, so cool. So Yamaha PW50, if you don't know what Caitlin's referring to. Okay, and then so when did you start racing? What age?
I think I was maybe I raced when I was younger, but then I took a little bit of a break when I was younger, and I got back into desert racing. I think I was 23. I was 23.
Okay. And then explain, because typically talk about motocross, that's what I did, but a little fun fact about me is I did learn how to actually ride a dirt bike in Arizona in the washes and kind of more desert
trails.
Yeah, trips. It wasn't you could just pull off and go underneath your easy up, after 20 minutes when you go to a track.
It's a lot more stamina.
Yeah.
Stamina and endurance.
Yes, that was God, too many years ago when I did that. So tell me kind of what's the difference, or what, because have you always done desert? Is that always what you've ridden?
Yeah, so my poppy, my dad's dad, he started racing in the early 60s in District 37. So since then, our family has been pretty bred into the desert, I would say. I'm in third generation desert racer. My dad raced, I raced, my brother raced. So, it's a part of our family and who we are. And, it's so close to us. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump away to all the race areas. So
yes. So explain if somebody didn't know what desert racing is, tell me what
So
desert racing is.
desert racing is there is a trail that's it's ribboned out basically with like day glow ribbons and arrows, and you start on a big start with up to 300, 400 people on a mass start, dead engine. So no engine on, you have to start your bike, and then basically when the banner drops, you all take off at the same time.
Holy
It's called
crap.
a bomb run.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
300 or 400
So
people, Riley, you think 40
yeah.
40 on the gate is bad?
Well, yeah, I mean, some of those starts I've seen are massive, but back in the day, in the 60s, early 60s, there used to be 1,200, 1,500, 1,600 people on a start line. So the sport has changed a lot with desert racing. But once you get out onto the course, there's checks, so no one is off of course because people can cut course really easily out there. So we want to make sure no one's cheating, and that was a problem back in the day too. So you got to hit the checks, go into the pits, gas up, and then go back out onto loop 2, depending on your class, and then usually the experts go out on the third loop, which can be it can be up to 80 to 100 miles with all 3 loops.
Okay. Goodness gracious. How long does something like that take you? How many hours?
Depending on your skill, I mean, the pros, they run them in like 4 hours max, I would say. But as more of like an intermediate novice, I'd say maybe 5 or 6, depending on the course, I would say. And this is more of like a national race. This is like a hare and hound race that I'm kind of describing.
Wow. Talk about,
yeah.
How do you, holy crap, like, do you eat? Do you drink? Like for
Some
6?
people eat in the pits, yeah.
Okay. I mean, 6 hours.
You get goggles, gas. Sometimes people need water poured on their brakes because their brakes are overheating. People take the packets in their mouth. It's like the what is the company? Basically, it's like electrolyte packets. Yeah, banana, and then you're out again.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, is there a big women's scene? Is there a women's class, I guess?
There is. Okay. Yeah, so out here in District 37, we have a women's class, which goes from, I think, 13 to 34, and then 35 beyond is the F women's class, so it's more of like the senior, I guess, class. But yeah.
They call us that's the vet class in motocross.
Yeah, I'm approaching that number. So
well, in motocross it's typically 12 and up and 12 and under, and then 25 plus is considered vet, which I'm like, 25, man, come on.
Yeah.
Okay, so what maybe like biggest accomplishment when it comes to desert racing? Doesn't have to be a place, or maybe somewhere you went, or best memory. What do you got?
So best memory would be, it was about a mile after the start on, I think it was a dual Euro and a dual European, which is a different kind of race style. But a mile after the start, I crashed pretty bad. Had a flat front tire, and bent the living daylights out of my handlebars.
Okay.
And I finished, and I won my class, and my dad was at the finish line. He looked at me and he said, "I cannot believe you finished with the front flat and the bent bars."
Like in a good way or bad?
In a good way.
Okay,
yeah, he was like really proud of me that I finished and won my class. And yeah, it was like, it's bringing me tears in my eyes right now. He passed away.
Oh.
Yeah, he passed away like 5 years ago. So, yeah.
Good memory for you. Gosh. Yeah. Okay, and then got me a little choked. Sorry about your dad. That's my condolences.
Yeah.
So, where are you? Okay, let's talk a little bit about what you do. I don't know if it's your 9 to 5, but let's talk about the training, the Women's Dirt Bike Training Academy. Tell me about it.
Okay. So I do work a regular job, a full-time job, and then so I started the WDTA as kind of, It had been a dream of mine for many years. And I'm like, you know what? F it. We're going to do it. We're going to live large, and we're going to put energy into this. And it's been a dream of mine, and here I am now. And it's been so much fun. It's always ups and downs, but it's just gotten better and better and better. And I'm having the time of my life. It has been so much fun, especially with the camp out that I had a few weeks ago. I had about 50 ladies RSVP'd, and I think about 41, 42 show up.
Okay.
And it was like the weekend of my life. That was the best weekend.
So
it was so much fun.
You guys like trail ride, you obviously camp, like do the fire. I think you give maybe some lessons and tips and tricks and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was, I had advertised it to have training, but it was raining during the training time, so we kind of had to skip forward over that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a free event. I wasn't asking for any money. I had a bunch of sponsors donate a bunch of free stuff, and all the girls were just over the moon over just getting out and doing something new, and the community behind it. All these girls met each other, and now they all follow each other. Now they're all friends, and that's how it's supposed to be.
Right.
It's supposed to be about being together and venturing further together.
Right,
so
and
it's been awesome.
And having other females support you in this sport, particularly because we are such a small community. I feel like it means even
growing.
more. Yeah, it is growing.
It's growing.
Yeah.
I think in the past 5 years, I've seen this huge surge of new riders learning how to ride, and they make the investment in a bike and the gear and, the means to haul their bike out to wherever they're going. And it's not cheap. You're a few $1,000s later and you have a bike, and now you're like, what do I do now? So that what do I do now point is where I come in and I teach the basics on form, and also beyond that, I can help with desert racing and all that stuff. Not so much motocross. I'm still learning in motocross. But yeah, I mean, it's just making it attainable for someone who doesn't have a boyfriend or a husband, who doesn't have the means to educate themselves.
That's really cool. I think that's the most important part, is teaching females to even, right, just like how to load a bike or like do the tie downs.
Yeah.
Or I mean,
know.
Even myself, like
it's really overwhelming.
I'm sure it is. Like I'll be honest, I don't know how to change oil or maintain a bike on my own. So it is a skill that most females don't know. So I applaud you for making that attainable and achievable for a lot of women. I think that's very inspiring, and I know it's inspiring for a lot of females because they come out because of you. I'm sure you're a part of it.
Yeah, I know it's been an awesome journey so far, and I cannot wait to see where I'm at in 5 years. I've got big goals, big end game results that I am working at towards every single day, and I just want to make it easier for women to be independent and confident.
Very, very cool. Any events coming up? Anything that you want to promote coming up? Anything in the works?
So I do have a fundamental training here in the next few weeks in April, and I also have I'm hosting with the Coyote Trail Adventures. We are hosting a ladies' ride. So basically, it's a 3-day weekend on Memorial Day where we guide the trail ride. We can ride up to 300 miles in a weekend in the desert, and all the expenses paid. Everything's taken care of, lodging in a hotel, food, gas. Basically, it's a complete blast. And even though I'm working, it doesn't feel like work. That's what I love about what I'm doing, is that I have so much passion that it doesn't feel like I'm working.
That's amazing. I aspire to be doing the same thing full time one day myself, is full in dirt bikes, because I'm passionate about it too. Last question. We're running out of time. Is anybody listening? Do you want to say hi to anybody?
Yeah, there's a few people listening, and
Okay.
I appreciate every single one of you. I think my mom's on here, and my grandma, and I know Tara's on here, and I know Jess is on here. There's a bunch of people that have showed up for me because they genuinely appreciate me. So I cannot thank each and every one of you enough for showing up for me. It's
So cool. Thanks,
lots of love.
Mom and Grandma. And thank you, Caitlin, for calling in. And I feel like I can't wait until this show, or maybe the next generation of the show, gets a little bit longer, because I feel like 15 minutes isn't long enough when, we have the same passion and we could just keep talking. But unfortunately, I have to go. But
No worries.
How can people find you if they're looking for you?
My Instagram is at Women's Dirtbag Training on Instagram. And I also have a free ladies only Facebook group that you're more than welcome to join if you're a woman. And the link is in my bio on my Instagram.
Okay, cool. I'm going to join it. And
awesome.
Thanks again, and have a great weekend. Are you riding this weekend? You going to ride?
Oh, yes.
All right. Have fun. And thanks for calling. And I'll catch you on the old social medias. Thanks for sharing everything.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan. Have a good weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. My name's Ryan. Awesome.